38 for Lecha Dodi. To you, my beloved. Who's the beloved? The queen of the Sabbath queen. She's coming to bring us our neshamot yeterot, our extra soul that we all receive for the Sabbath. Everybody know about that? No? Okay. Yes, this is the story behind the Lecha Dodi. Is to you, my beloved, who we call the bride, likrat kala. Kala is a bride. You ever heard of that flower, calla lily? In Israel, they use those calla lilies for weddings. And a kala is a bride. It's named exactly in Hebrew. Most Americans, they think, oh, calla lily, that's an American word. No, it's Hebrew, kala. Okay. Penei Shabbat, it means the faces of the Sabbath. Nekabela, let us receive you. And she comes, she brings us our extra souls that we all get for the Sabbath. That's why you feel a little bit elevated on the Sabbath, because of your neshama yetera, your extra soul. Shabbat nekabla, nekabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala penei. Shabbat nekabla, nekabla, shamor vezachor bedibur echad, ishmianu el hameyuchad. Continue on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem, the hymn that is in every Shabbat service all around the world, never mind where. In Africa, in Middle East, in Europe, in China, anywhere there's a Shabbat service. Oh, Robin, you are an angel. She's giving you the extra verses.
I can almost see it. Yeah, this is the eye with the sounds like the old lady used to live next to my grandmother. Happy Membrit.
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy.
She needs one more.
What?
I wish that I could tell you, no, don't. But you guys are.
Oh.
Thank you, Robin.
Sorry, Barrett.
We will be
Margaret
home.
wants to see it.
Thank you.
Okay, at least I made Very nice. All the way. We'll figure it out.
Thank you. And the page for our Shalom Aleichem?
142.
Thank you very much. Just making sure I was correct.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lochem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sefer Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, and to all our friends as well. Welcome, angels on high. Come and join us at our Shabbat table. Share our cup of joy. Come join our singing. Let your spirit soar with us. Together we will rise tonight. When we gather, fellowship and joy abound. Love and peace are filling our hearts. And we have some announcements undoubtedly from our fearless President Ira.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
And welcome to Shabbat and Simchat Torah at Temple Beth Emek. This worked very well last week when we did Sukkot, and we'll see how it works tonight. Services are conducted by Rabbi Janet Bieber with our music director, Robin Kreisberg. Religious school is in session this Sunday. Pizza night returns next Friday, November 1st at 6 p.m. $8 per person or $15 for two. Kids eat free. Please RSVP to the office so that we make sure we have enough pizza. Shabbat services follow at 7. Now, that's going to be game 6.
Game 6, right?
So if it's looking like that might be the deciding game, I might have to conference with the board as whether or not we need to move. We'll see. We continue to collect non-perishable food for local food banks, new unwrapped toys, no stuffed animals, please, for Children's Hospital. And remember to designate Temple Beth Emet of Burbank with your Ralph's Community Rewards program, and we get a small donation for everything you buy. And isn't it nice that the high holidays are over and the announcements are real short?
Okay.
We are gonna have a sisterhood meeting.
Oh,
Anybody wants to join, yeah, I know, don't pass out. November 10th, anybody wants to join the sisterhood? Becky?
what day of the week is that?
Sunday. Sunday.
What time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we always go to lunch afterwards. We have a small meeting and we decide where to go to lunch.
Oh.
11 o'clock?
Very productive.
Eileen, what time
11 o'clock,
is the meeting?
yes. Yes.
Okay, support the sisterhood, they support us.
Yes.
Very cool. We continue our service on page 146, where we find the Baraku. Yes, Mark, are you gonna be our Torah,
Maybe not.
oh, you want someone else?
Yeah.
Who would like to
I'll
be,
do it right now.
okay,
Oh, I can do it.
so, and, oh, okay, Margaret. Margaret will be after you, okay, she'll take over for you.
I don't think, unless somebody hasn't told us something.
Oh. What happened?
No.
Okay,
In the stripes one.
we'll say the Shabbat.
Put my soldering in the Shabbat.
Yes, okay. We have the Baruchu 146. Okay, and Margaret, you want to close that? Oh. Be ready for prayer aerobics. On page 148, we join in the English paragraph, one of my favorite paragraphs. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are our creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Barabi. We have the Shema on page 152. Margaret? Oh, where'd she go?
I'm right here.
Oh,
I just went back to mine.
would you like me to find some of this, or are you good? So we rise for the Shema as the ark is open. Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Yevuto
Leolam Va'ed. That's right. Okay, and we continue on page 154 with the Be'ahavta in the Torah trope. Now, I do notice that some people have learned a little bit differently, and that's okay. But I want you to know the reason why I adhere to my melody very closely is that I'm doing it just as the trope is, okay? So like I'm going, Mapach katon, tibcha monach et nachta, you see? Ve'ahavta, you see? So you may have learned it and then sort of ascribed to it as sort of a melody and maybe gotten a little bit farther away from the actual trope, but that's what I'm trying to do. So just if you notice that, then you'll realize why I'm doing it, okay?
And Rabbi, may I ask you a question? In the Hebrew, when we see vowels, that's one thing, but we see other things, and those are the trope markings.
Correct.
Now, I don't know that we all know that.
Oh.
I didn't really know that.
Ah.
You know, I mean, until I started to talk to you about it, that those signs are there to tell you how to sing.
Exactly how.
Yeah.
Yes. And there are slight differences between trope systems as far as some people may do a little bit different than the other, but basically they're very uniform. So, you know, if people would like to learn the trope, maybe we could arrange an adult class.
That'd be great.
Okay, so let's start thinking about that, maybe. Okay, Ve'ahavta on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשיטך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Okay, you may be seated as soon as the, right, and we continue. We continue on page 156, where we read together, all this we hold. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and our Savior, who delivers us from oppression's hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without numbers, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude. They accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting voices joyously. We come to Mi Chamocha on page 158.
And we start out with Yabba.
Yabba, Okay, on page 161, we continue with the reading at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporez sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue on page 162, 162, where we have Veshamru. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. נהי בין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם So we come to the point of our service where we ask, what happened this week that you want to share with the congregation? A short sharing of something beautiful, something, or something that was very hard that you lived through that you want us to know. Anyone? Okay, I see Joanne and I see Eileen. Okay, Joanne?
Okay, first of all, last Saturday, Bunny and I went to, and Margaret went to a luncheon for an organization called Empty Bowl. The luncheon was called Empty Bowl. The organization is called HALA, H-A-L-A, Home Again Los Angeles. And it was to help people who in need, who are homeless. And the Empty Bowl, because people made pottery bowls, and we each got one, and then the lunch was three different kinds of soups and chili. And I had pumpkin soup because I've really been into pumpkin type food. Before I had pumpkin ravioli. It was really delicious and a wonderful cause, and there were people selling different crafts, and it was a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
So nice. Thank you, Betty, for inviting me.
Okay.
She's always there.
Oh, and Eileen, oh,
I don't have
Bunny?
anything to share, Rabbi, but I don't know if you know Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Brenda comes to the temple a lot of times.
I recognize
And
her.
Brenda is from St. David's, and she was a member of St. Jude's and got to know our temple when we used to have high holiday services, and she has continued to enjoy being with us.
Well, Brenda, you are welcome any and all times. We love to have you.
It's truly a blessing. I've come because I'm just so blessed.
Beautiful, beautiful. If there's anything you don't know or would like to know, please ask me.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Eileen?
Well, I went kind of off what's good or bad. I went to see the movie The Apprentice.
Oh.
And it was very well done, and it really does, it's the relationship between Trump and Roy Cohn, one of the boys, yeah. And
We don't like to admit that.
I think at the end, I think even Roy Cohn realized that he's Frankenstein and he created a monster. And it's an interesting film and it's very well done. I think it's worth seeing.
Well, and I think to add to your note, Trump tried to block it from being in this country.
Yes.
So, yeah, go see it.
That's a good reason to see it,
Right.
yeah.
That means it's really worth seeing.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, excellent. I would like to share a really peak experience that Vicki and I had, along with 17,000 others, at the Hollywood Bowl. We went to a Joni Mitchell concert last weekend. Oh, you must have heard that she was there. Yeah, we lucked out, and a friend of ours had tickets, and we got them from him. And it was such a beautiful spiritual experience, a wonderful evening, and it was Joni and her jam, which means she's 80. She sat in a chair the whole time. They had it arranged like a living room, and the entire stage circled around, so nobody got up. They all had this living room that just was, you couldn't see it, and it pivoted around, and the whole thing was there. And then they had Annie Lennox, maybe some of you know her, beautiful voice. She sang Ladies of the Canyon. And then one of my favorites, I don't know how many of you know, Jean Baptiste. Oh yes, Jean Baptiste was there and he played for her. And I can't even remember all the other people that were there. So many fabulous people.
Yeah, Belinda Carlisle organized.
Yes,
has organized
Brandy Carlisle.
Brandy Carlisle organized the whole.
Joni actually thanked Brandy for bringing her out of retirement. Because I don't know if you know, but Joni had a brain aneurysm that almost shut her down in 2015, and she has been clawing her way back and had to relearn how to speak and sing. But she did beautifully. She did beautifully. And the highlight of the whole thing was both sides now. You know, I've looked at love from both days now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. It was so good.
Did you sing with her?
You know what they had?
encourage the-
Well, there were 17,000 people there, but they did have a few sing-alongs.
Ah.
Yeah, they paid Paradise, put up a parking lot. We all sang that. And what else did we sing? There was a couple of that we were all invited to sing, but otherwise, no. It's a big no-no. You don't sing at a concert unless you're invited. Yeah?
Circle game?
Circle game. That's right. She sang that and invited us all to sing with her. Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. Were you there, Mark?
No, I just know her music.
Oh, okay, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, wonderful music. Okay, anyone else? Okay, we are going to let me see. When are we doing our hackathon? Okay. Okay, let's do this. I do have a beautiful drosh for you, talking about all the holidays. I know you're gonna wanna hear that. So we have the Misha Berach. I think I'm gonna do the drosh right now. We'll do the Misha Berach, and then, we will do, what?
Mark is going to do Misha Berach for us.
Oh, please. Excellent, excellent. So right after the drosh, okay? Excellent, okay. And then we can do our hakafah. You know, is it okay if I substitute the hakafah for the Amidah, since everybody will be standing, because otherwise we are running out of time?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, very good. So, Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah. You know, Judaism, I don't have to tell you, is the road less traveled. Less than what? Oh, you know, Christianity. Islam even. There's more people in the world that practice Islam by far than Jews. I don't know how many exactly, but how many Jews are there? About 12 million, right? Including Israel, including here, including Europe, maybe even 15 million, not more. And there are many, many, many more Muslims than that, and of course, way more Christians. So, you know, one thing about our religion, we are a religion of dualities, okay? For instance, we have Sukkot, which has the 4 species, and you might say, oh yeah, 4 species, right? Lulav, etrog, chadas, and aravot, the myrtle and the willow, right? Along with the date palm and the lemon thing, right? The prehistoric lemon, which is the etrog. So that reminds us of the land of Israel, the products of Israel, the agriculture of Israel. But we also have the sukkah itself, which not only is an agricultural hut, certainly is, however, it reminds us of our history of wandering in the desert. How many years was that? Do you remember?
40, isn't it?
Yes, 40, that's right. And nobody, you know, if I ask anybody, you don't have to be embarrassed if you don't know. I'm just trying to get you to see how much you do know, okay? And you know the thing about 40 years? How many days was Noah's flood? 40, oh, coincidence. How many years we wandered in the desert? 40, right? 40 represents a huge amount of time, okay? It's not meant to be exact. It's meant to tell us that was long, really long, okay? And that's what that's all about. But so Sukkot represents the duality of the agriculture and the history together. Okay? So Jews believe in one God and that our God is universal. We all know that. And we're happy to share. We say, yes, there's one God that's the God of everyone on the planet, absolutely. But the Christianity and in Islam, they have a different idea that if you're going to be religious, you should choose their religion. Because if you're not in their religion, then what happens? Oh goodness, when you die, you don't get the blessings of eternity, right? In the case of the Christians, you're not going to get to heaven. And you're, oh dear, they even say something horrible. I don't want to offend you, okay? You're going to burn in hell. Okay, number one, Jews don't believe in hell. We don't have a hell in our mind. As a matter of fact, the word hell comes from the Hebrew word Azazel. See how that sounds like it? When we sent out the scapegoat on Yom Kippur, we put all the sins on the head of that goat, the sins of the community, sent it out to the wilderness, La Azazel, okay? And that's what people think is going to hell. Why? Because the wilderness at that time was very scary. You would not go by yourself. There were wild animals, lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. And I am not kidding, there were bears too in the Holy Land. Did you know? Not anymore. They're extinct. But anyway, in our Judaism, we don't say, oh no, you can't be a realized religious person unless you're a Jew. No, we don't say that. We say, no, any way can be a way as long as you make it a way, right? The Berditchever rabbi actually said that. That's a quote. Any way can be a way as long as you make it a way. Feel free to use that quote because it works in lots of ways, okay? It shows you how flexible we really can be. And we can achieve happiness through this flexibility. We really can. The Torah tells us a simple story. God gave humans the gift of freedom, which they used not, guess what? Not to enhance creation, but to endanger it. Let's think about the first humans we talk about in the Torah. Adam and Eve, right? Or Adam v'Chava, right? Chava is the same as Eve in Hebrew, right? So Adam and Chava broke the first prohibition. What did they do? You all know. They ate of the tree of life and knowledge, right? Of the knowledge. And all of a sudden, they became aware that they were unclothed. They became aware that their world was there. Before that, they were like, you know, like a dog is, or like any sort of animal. Oh, the sun is rising. I'm going to get up. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to have something to eat. Oh, I'm tired. I'm going to have a nap. You know, and that sort of thing. But no, when they ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they became responsible for their life. It wasn't a happy thing when God discovered it, and they had to, originally they lied about it. They didn't say they did it. Everybody said, hey, Adam said, she made me do it. And Eve said, the snake made me do it, right? They didn't want to say, oh God, I was wrong. I did something wrong, mea culpa. No, they didn't. So then came their child Cain. And what did he do? He killed his brother. That's right. So, and then after that, a remarkably short space of time, all human beings had become corrupted. And the way on the earth had become full of violence. And only one man, his name was Noah, found favor in God's eyes. That's a beautiful phrase in Hebrew, by the way. Motze chen be'enai. You have found favor in my eyes. After the flood, of course, God made a covenant with Noah. In Hebrew, we say Noach. And Noach means comfortable, by the way. For instance, oh, I have a comfortable chair. Yesh li kisei Noach. Okay? Noach means comfortable. So God made a covenant with Noach, and through him, with all of humanity, that's you and me. But after came the Tower of Babel. Oh boy. And that was people who had all kinds of hubris. And they said, oh, we can build a tower up into heaven, and then we'll be powerful like God. We'll be able to see the world from very high. We'll be able to know things that we didn't know before. But oy vey, God didn't like that. And so what happened? I bet you all know what happened. Kablam. Suddenly they're speaking 107 different languages and they can't understand each other, and they have to abandon the Tower of Babel altogether. The reason it's called the Tower of Babel is because all the people were babbling to each other. Maybe one was talking and you don't know what, Sumerian, one was talking who knows what that was, and they couldn't understand each other. Okay. So the universality of God and the particularity of the Torah is that we are commanded to be true to our faith and a blessing to others. Okay, regardless of their faith, that is the Jewish way. We don't require people to become Jewish in order to accept them. And we don't say they're going to burn in hell if they don't. I think that's an important point. I will tell you, I have good Christian friends who actually are mourning that I am not accepting Jesus and that I'm going to burn in hell. And I keep trying to comfort and say, no, don't you worry, we don't have hell. And it's okay that you believe it, but we don't. And therefore, I know my God would not assign me to that for not accepting Jesus. I just know that to be true. I can't prove it to you, and I'm not telling you not to have it, but I don't need it, okay? Okay, so moving on to Shmini Hag HaAtzeret. Now, if I asked you right now, who knows what Shmini Atzeret is? I get it, I forgot over there, I get it, no way, Moshe, I don't know what that means. And you know what? Nobody really knows what it means. And that's the truth. We can translate the words. Shmini, that's easy, means eighth. Eighth, the eighth day, right? Shmini Chag HaAtzeret, the eighth day of the holiday of the agriculture, of the harvest, Atzeret, of the harvest. And, it's a sort of time when we really don't want to say goodbye to the high holidays because we've had this entire arc of worship and togetherness and all kinds of events. And now it's over. It's time to let go and let the secular holidays take over, right? Who doesn't like Thanksgiving, for God's sake? The best holiday of all, which has yummy food, conviviality, and nobody needs to get presents. I love it, okay? But before that happens, we want to remember about our relationship with God. That's really what Shmini Atzeret is about. It's about our personal relationship with God. As Jews, we don't need an intermediary. We don't need a priest or anyone else to say, please God, take note of this person. No. Each one of us is empowered to talk directly to God. We even have a whole tradition called, I think I mentioned it on the holidays, Hitbodedut, which is the practice of going to a place where you can be alone, no one can hear you, and you can talk to God however you want to talk to God. And if you need to laugh, if you need to cry, if you need to shout, if you need to whisper, you can do it. And you are encouraged to do it. Some people write. And that works too. So when the universality of Judaism has been expressed, there remains something that cannot be universalized. The sense of intimacy and the closeness to God that we feel, especially on Shmini Atzeret. It's a quiet time with God. We are reluctant to live. We are reluctant to leave. And we dare to think that God is reluctant to see us go. Justice is universal and love is particular. Some things we share because we are human. There are other things that constitute our identity that are uniquely ours. Most importantly, our relationship to those who form our family, right? The joy of Sukkot was the joy of living in the promised land. But by the time Simchat Torah had spread throughout the Jewish world, we Jews had lost virtually everything. We lost our land, our home, our freedom, our independence. We lost the temple, the priesthood, the sacrificial order. So many. All that had once been our source of joy, stability, and tradition. Only the Torah remained. We are the people of the book because that is what we are left with. And we know that the Torah we have kept the Torah, but the Torah has kept the Jews. In the 10th century, a man named Saadia Gaon, and that Gaon means genius, okay? Saadia Gaon wrote in the 10th century, he asked a simple question that in virtue of what was the Jewish people, of what was, in other words, all those losses of the land and so on, how are the Jews still a nation? And he dedicated his life to figuring out just what made the Jews a nation. Jews were scattered throughout the world, and we were not a part of a single economic or political order. We did not share the same culture. We did not speak the same language. For instance, Rashi, who lived in 1200, spoke French, and Rambam spoke Arabic. And yet the Jews were only one nation, bound by a bond of collective destiny and also collective responsibility. So the Torah, as we say, is our life and the length of our days. I'm sure you've heard that quote. It was the legacy of the past and the promise of the future. It was the marriage contract with God, the record of the covenant that bound us unbreakably together. We had lost our world, but we still had God's world, and it was enough. On Simchat Torah, without being commanded by any verse in the Torah or any decree of the rabbis, Jews throughout the world sang and danced and recited poems in honor of the Torah exactly as they were dancing in the courtyard of the temple. They were determined to show God and the world that they could still be Ach Sameach, a nation that was given over to joy, because without joy, we wouldn't even be here. Not only the Torah kept us, but the joy kept us. Remember that song from Fiddler on the Roof? God would like us to be joyful even when our hearts slide panting on the floor. How much more can we be joyful when there's really something to be joyful for, right? So a people that can walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and we've been there. We've been there, I don't have to remind you, and still rejoice. It's a people that cannot be defeated by any force or any fear. And we say, Amen. Amen. And now we're going to continue with the Nisha Berach, and we have our friend Mark, who is going to help us out.
371.
371. Now we have our hakafot. What? Well, that will be after the hakafah. Yeah, we'll come after the hakafah, we'll come back in and finish our service. Okay, are we gonna have enough time? Is that okay?
Maybe we'll do 7. Maybe we'll do.
Oh, how about 2?
2's good.
2's good. Okay, so who is strong and is going to carry the Torah? You want to? You look strong.
Sure, I'll carry.
You look very strong. Is there anyone else who would like to? We have 2 Torot.
I can do as follows.
Oh,
Do you want to have a minute?
I know, if you feel you can. First of all, there's 2 hakafot. We could actually, if there's 4 people who want to carry, we could have 4 people. So, help me out. What's your name? Matthew.
Yeah.
Matthew and Margaret for the first one, and Alan, and who else for the second one? Okay, we have our 4 Torah carriers.
We got flags for everybody who's following them at the back of the sanctuary.
Okay. And we have our beautiful Robin, who is going, Robin, are you gonna have your guitar or not?
Yes, I am.
Oh, she's gonna take her guitar and she's gonna lead the songs for the hakafah. Okay, and we're gonna open up the Torah, the ark right now.
We're gonna go out the back door, down the alley, around, come in the front door.
The white.
Front doors.
Are they white now?
Only the white.
We did it October 8th, so.
And I will be here in the synagogue.
What is that? Reading for us.
Because you had it.
Okay. Robin, what's the song?
Lo Yisagoy.
Okay.
Yeah? Lo Yisagoy.
I was trying to get your attention, Margaret, to tell you that we were here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons for Torah. Those Torahs are, remember what he said? They're solely, yeah, oh, you get your haircut, I see.
Yesterday, it didn't feel bad, but I did.
Serious?
The day before.
Yes,
I think I'm gonna just shift more to the
Yeah.
acupuncture instead of.
I definitely can say it is. You know, fracture. I was going to get a physical therapy and I would walk in straight up and I would walk out bent over. So the whole thing. And I told the doctor, it isn't doing me any good and I feel worse when I come out. So I started getting acupuncture and deep muscle massage. I paid $80. I went 3 times a week and I had to pay for it myself because insurance doesn't cover it.
So anyway,
I went for a year. Yeah, well, you know, I met this gal at the doctor's office. Her father, in fact, was the superintendent.
but
Urban Zacharias was the super, it was his daughter.
it's fixable.
And she told me that a lot of companies, you get a waiver to your policy for like $10 or something to get alternative medicine. You know, a lot of your Medicaid.
I've got good medical. I've got good medical.
Well, that's very.
Medicare.
We have, Medicare.
You know, you were here for Shabbat. I don't think I've seen that many people for Friday night services.
You know, from when she was working. No packages.
Oh, you know.
I have Medicare. I have the breathers, those count as breathers. You probably don't even know about those.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, I've been here on Friday night when we had counted the tourists to have a menu.
They're sugar free and liquor free, they say, in Swiss.
And
And
tell
they
you, you're
have,
a pretty big fan. I told Joanne, the only people that talk about it aren't real fans.
Okay.
Because real fans, see, don't worry at the six, just record it. And I'll tell you what, if you're still there, not stay.
Singers.
Are we doing it again, or is that it?
yeah, are you, oh, you need to the second people, and we'll do Alenu,
Oh, okay,
but first, can you hold it for a few minutes? Jenny? Okay, we're gonna do, I'll tell you what, since we have the lateness of the hour, we're going to finish our service with the mourner's cottage, everybody. Please come to order. I'll have to be like that man in Parliament. Order! Anyway, we're going to put the Torahs away, but in a moment, we're going to first do the mourner's cottage, which is found on page 598.
Do you want the,
Yeah. So 598, and before we say that, I'm just going to read the names for this week, and here they are. First of all, we have several people who have passed away just recently. Harold Hillian, a dear friend of Tracy's, Frederic Alberti, and Christine New, and also Deborah Fischel, who is Bunny's sister. And we say, may their names be for a blessing. Then we have the yard sites. R.L. Monokia, Thomas Landolfi, Daria Grossberg, Fanny Rosenberg, Mary Reinhardt, Samuel Sopasnik, Larry Weinfeld, William Aronoff, Eve Resnick, Herman Schaefer. Any other names?
Jerome Noodleman,
Jerome Noodleman, is that your
father.
father?
The yard site.
May his name be for a blessing. And anyone else? Yes, Ira.
Jerry Dress, a friend, passed away last week.
Jerry Dress.
Dress.
D-R-E-S-S?
Yeah.
Jerry Dress. Okay, I know someone named Jerry Dress.
I just have a list too of people.
Oh, I did that one. No. This is all of us here. This, and this. Who are you gonna kill?
The ones that, that we say all the time.
Oh.
We don't need to.
Okay. Okay. And also we include all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Our page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabal. Be'alma divrach hirutei be'amlich malachutei. Bechayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitatar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha rechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Tamiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shamaya v'chayim. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. And we are going to finish on page 586 with the Aleinu. And if you would like, 586. If you would like to put the Torahs in, you may. If you want to hold on for another hug, you can. Oh, okay. Ira, the president, has spoken. Time to change the covers. Okay, Margaret, why don't you help? Just Aleinu, and then we can just do one of your short songs for an ending, okay? So that you can. As soon as the Torahs are redressed. Wouldn't want the Torah to be naked now. I mean, it is after the Garden of Eden. The Torahs would be embarrassed, for God's sake. Be sure to get the front on the front, dear. Are you? Wait a minute. Okay, the front is facing your tummy, Margaret. You want the, that's how, no, the front is facing Margaret.
But the problem is that they're not.
Oh, they're not?
They're not done correctly, so in order for
Okay.
these to get on top of one another,
Okay.
get on the little pegs, we'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
That's the
All right.
way that we can do it.
Okay,
Okay?
okay. Are we good?
Yes, we're all
Okay,
redressed.
so we're gonna return the Torahs to the ark.
I was telling Robin.
So the one that goes on the right, it's
Laura Soroka.
Yeah, the big one goes on the right,
Very good.
or it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Whatever fits.
Let the Torah find its
Didn't know it was
place.
gonna be that long.
Okay, and we say Aleinu, page 586.
Lo tegr la lo tsem Sanu, Gidale Aratson, Velo Somanu, Mishpacho Adama, Shelo Samkal Kenuka, Megora Lenu, Keho Hamona, Mahananu Hori, Unishtachami Udi, Nifne Melech, Malchei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bayom Hahu, Yigeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
And we'd like to have one closing hymn, and then we'll meet you at the Oneg Shabbat.
Open or close?
Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yaakov Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom.